IBL, we're on a mission. Controversial discussion, from family addition to money to marriage, and it's What's in between the lines?
Girl, yes, we're gonna talk about it all. Family, blended family, how hard it was for us to blend together. We're gonna talk about money. We're even gonna talk about emotional affairs, girl. I can't wait.
So today is another hot topic.
Yes.
It's something that that's kind of different. You don't really hear at in the circle with your friends.
Yeah, like not everybody's sitting around talking about this. Like
yeah. So I think it's going to be something that will make you think, right?
Yeah.
And also, I think the title may help you recognize what's wrong in your situation. If
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And I want to set them up a little bit. I want to set up the forethought on why we chose this topic. I also think that this topic can help singles, right, effectively communicate with your pre-spouse, right? And making sure that you're not disappointed in your marriage, right?
Yeah.
And so the topic that we're going to talk about is unspoken expectations. And unspoken expectations. Like this to me is going to
be good.
This is going to even be relationship counseling, because many people have unspoken expectations of pastors, their bosses, of friends, of neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Like uncommunicated desires that you're assuming based off of your background, history, whatever, that people just should know. They should just know.
Now, these unspoken expectations are silent expectations you may have never communicated to your spouse about, and you've been holding them to these
standards.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about how we found out we had a whole bunch of unspoken expectations. So we are a proponent and fan of counseling and therapy. And so throughout the 18, almost 19 years, there were seasons in our marriage where we're like, we need a counselor.
Right.
We need a therapist.
Real talk.
We need deliverance. Whatever it was.
That too. Me too. Me too. Seriously.
Me too. And so there was this one session that it's a shame because we never went back. We never went back after this last session. It was like we got an epiphany. And we felt like.
Well, yeah.
Think about it. In the middle, like it was like a 2-hour session, and I'm talking and he's talking, because therapists that's what they do. They let you talk and then they figure it out from there. But she said, it really sounds like you guys are suffering from unmet expectations. No, unspoken expectations.
Unspoken expectations.
And when she said it, I was like, that is it,
That's it.
That is it. And then I began to sit with that and analyze, like for the next 24 hours, the expectations that I have of Arnold as being my husband that just were either not met, and more importantly, I never even communicated.
Right. And
yet, because they weren't being met, most of them because I didn't communicate, I was disappointed. I was frustrated. I was, and it was just, it took a moment for someone like Dr. Lang, shout out to Dr. Lang, to expose this in us. And we've been really, really working on our communication, right? Communicating those deep things that, that we're requiring of each other and don't even know about.
We were suffering.
Bad.
Really, really bad.
And then, when your expectations aren't met, you kind of get selfish, and then you.
I was going to go there. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead, tell yourself.
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell yourself. Go ahead.
I was going to tell on you, but so I was going to say, what it's like, what it feels like when those expectations are not met.
Yeah.
And how unfair it is to your spouse that you have these, and you holding this person to all this stuff that they ain't doing.
They don't even know about.
That they don't even know about. Now, we're not talking about the stuff y'all talked about. We're talking about the
that's
stuff. That's
another topic.
Yeah, we're talking about the stuff that y'all do not talk about.
Right.
And here I am frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, frustrated and just trying to find God. You gotta do something with her.
You gotta do something with him.
We both praying this prayer. You know what I mean? And I'm just angry.
Sometimes, you know what I've noticed about unspoken or uncommunicated expectations? Most of them have a lot are rooted in like gender and cultural perceptions.
I was going to say to add to what I was saying.
You know,
but to add to that, some of them are also rooted in old relationships.
True.
I'm
like,
expecting
true.
you to do what she
What
did.
Becky
You're
did.
expecting me to do what he did.
Yeah.
Or what he promised, or what she promised.
And then now your husband got to make up for all those broken promises that Jerome didn't. That's. I don't know. Do you guys have that? Like, do you feel like some of your expectations of your husband or wife is because like you're like, I'm married now, and you feel like you're entitled to
drive a Bentley,
whatever. Like, let's just talk about. You want me to share mine first, or you want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, I would say, don't look at mine. He's cheating on my little sheet here. One of my unspoken expectations was that I didn't really have to drive anymore. I hate driving, guys. Like, hate it. Like, if I were to do a prenup, it would say I don't have to drive.
So I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
But we did say the unspoken expectation would be something you did not communicate to your spouse.
Yeah, I didn't communicate that.
And this is the first time.
This is the first time you heard this?
Yes.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, babe.
Babe, don't swear to God.
I'll take that back, Lord.
Oh, wait, you know I don't like driving, but you didn't know.
I didn't know that it was rooted.
Bad.
I didn't know what this was.
I don't know what it is. You know, in my father, I was talking to my father.
But I'm sorry not to cut you off. But now you're saying it. Now I understand why.
Why I always throw a fit.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I think I know why now. I just feel like I just, after 18 years, realized that I was talking to my dad, and he was talking about my mom, and he was just telling me a story. And he mentioned this statement. He said, you know, your mom didn't get her license until y'all were almost grown. Like, I did all the driving, and I just let your mom kind of relax. And so from a child, my whole perspective was that, I know y'all gonna be like, she's so culturally or whatever biased, but I had this idea that the man drove and that the woman just didn't. And I don't know, maybe if I liked doing it, it wouldn't be a big deal, but I hate driving.
To your defense, if we're driving a long trip,
yeah, I don't know why. Yeah.
My wife will get behind that wheel,
and I'll drive 7 hours.
She'll go 7-8 hours straight. Yeah. I'm checking, you good? She's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
She don't mind that. So she'll help drive.
I will. I'll share the burden.
But I didn't know that this was an unspoken expectation.
I didn't. Yeah, I'm telling you it was. And so it just, and then now you're married. Like, I think there's like this guilt of you don't want to speak of them now because you're married, and you're like, I don't want to hold this person to this standard that I never communicated. And then what if they're like, you know, I don't want to do it either. And then you're just stuck.
So we don't go nowhere.
We just don't go nowhere. We need to hire a chauffeur. But, you know.
That sounds like a good idea.
That's a good idea too. But yeah, so that's my first one.
Okay.
That's my first
Thank you for sharing.
We're doing Confessions on IBL podcast.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And I am not offended.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No. And I will drive from now on. I'm making a confession
Are you
on
serious?
IBL. I will drive myself and you will stay home. No, I'm joking. I will drive from now on unless I am exhausted and cannot keep my eyes open.
Well, I wouldn't want you doing that anyway.
And then
I'll just make Christian drive. No, I'm joking.
All right.
Okay.
So I'll say my first. I got you, babe.
Okay.
After tonight. It's like, no. My first one that I would bring up is an unspoken expectation is that. And
we're saying unspoken because it wasn't communicated before the marriage.
Before the marriage.
Okay.
Yeah. Before, or it wasn't communicated until we got married, or
and it
never.
was like an issue.
Or never.
Yeah. Oh God, is this something I never heard before? It's probably like make the bed or something like that.
Oh, that's a. Yeah,
don't add. I'm not gonna give you ideas.
No. So my unspoken expectation is that you would cook. do, 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 do.
Here's the thing.
Wait, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me finish.
I'm gonna let you have your time because you let me have my time.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, and you know I don't mind
They
cooking.
were like, she suck.
No.
But go ahead.
No, man, come on now. When we first met, we were at 25 Ma Vista, and you cooked.
I did.
Oh my God, I can't. Yeah, you would cook. No, I was like, oh, this girl, these meals are different.
Yeah, because I'm not that good of a cook, which is probably why I don't
No,
cook.
that's not. No, you're good at what you do. I'm good at what I do.
I could put food together and it's eatable.
So I had an expectation of that I'm thinking that I'm hoping that you would cook.
Yeah.
And here I am, more the cook.
Yeah.
And to your defense, some of it is, I understand, your work hours would run into dinner time.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
so I don't have a problem. I get it. And if I don't feel like it, we going out. We
Yeah.
out of here. You know what I mean?
Or I will cook. I cook like once a week, y'all. Babe. I'm a great delegator. I taught my girls how to cook.
I can't. This is...
No, but what did I tell you? I said he's right. So it started with like I was working probably like 12-hour days, right, doing mortgages. And then for like 5 years, I managed retail banking. So I would work 9 hours.
Yeah.
And so it was like this reverse role where he was working, but he had the kids most of the time.
I got off way earlier than she
Yeah.
did. And that's why I said to your defense.
Yeah, and I think that I'm not like that now, because I could. Like, I've been working home for the last 3 days. I was just like, he must like cooking. But, okay, so this is what I'm going to say is that I did tell you this, though. I did tell you that I was going to start cooking more.
I mean, that was last year. But
No, we just talked about this a couple months ago. No, we talked about this a couple weeks ago or something like that. But I agree that I do want to cook. Like, once I do cook, I'm like, all right, I got this. You know what I mean?
and you look great at the stove.
Yeah, okay. So that was an unspoken expectation. He thought, like, you'll get married. Like, here's a gender role. Like, here's a gender perspective. The man takes out the trash. The woman, cooks or whatever.
Now, it wasn't because I'm that kind of person that thinks that the woman should be cooking. When we started out, when we first met, you cooked.
Oh,
That's
you're
why.
saying it's not a gender role? You're just
Not
saying,
for
like,
me.
you feel tricked because I did start and then I stopped.
Yeah, you got me.
No, that's a lie, because when I met you, I was working part-time. And so...
Regardless, you were cooking, is what I'm saying.
It's irregardless. Is
that.
it irregardless? Regardless?
Put it in the
regardless.
comments.
Put regardless.
All right,
Regardless.
so regardless, you were cooking.
I was.
And
I was working part-time.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay.
This is what I'm getting.
You want me to do my second one?
Well, I gotta go first, because I only have one. We gotta go back and forth. We're gonna do ping pong. We're gonna do like back and forth, not ping pong. But anyway, so my second one was pause. Relax. So my second one was, I don't know why. I just had this idea that once I got married, that like I could just like relax, like not work, like just be a kept woman.
That is not an unrealistic, unspoken expectation, though.
But in this day and age, it is.
It's not real.
I think you should communicate that. Hey, ladies, if you're like, look, I don't care what y'all say, all this feminine movement out here, I'm not gonna work myself till I'm dead. And you're like, I would love to, settle in, take care of my family, and not have to necessarily do a 9 to 5. If that's your goal and your dream, make sure you communicate that to your spouse.
Please.
Before you get married.
Yes.
Right? Because it's not fair then for him to be having this like you to be disappointed and for him to have a burden, I don't know, like maybe his skill set can't afford that, right? Like maybe whatever career he has, like he could never ever retire you. I don't know.
Real talk.
That's real talk. But he's a good man. He goes to work every day and he makes a living for his family. So that could be a hard pill for you to swallow, or y'all gonna have to adjust your living standards. I mean, technically, like I can quit my job if I gave up the standard of living that we have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like downsize your house. How bad you want it? I had a girlfriend that did that. You know, she's like, I want it bad. I want to live in peace. And they went down to just his income, downsized the house, went down to one car, cut back on a lot of extra stuff, and they're fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be
I want my cake and eat it too. So that's why I'm still working. And we got some of these side businesses that got to do what they do. But
Right.
that was an unspoken expectation. I don't know why. Like, I just felt like, I don't know. And maybe I have this, maybe like my upbringing has more influence on the way I see marriage than I think, because the reality is my mom did not work all of our life.
Right.
My mom did not get a job until I was almost off to college.
Right.
And so I was used to my mom being there, doing lunch. I would call home during the middle of the day and talk to her. And so I liked that. And there was something, a part of me that wanted to offer that to our kids, but just never was able to do it. So that definitely wasn't. And I know it's coming. I know it's coming.
What?
I know my baby gonna retire me, and I'll be sitting back with yoga pants, walking in the mall like, what, flapping my hair.
Hold the yoga pants.
Okay, not yoga pants, but you know how they be doing.
Oh my God.
Drinking tea at Starbucks, talking about nothing.
How many of you women, ladies, married or unmarried, have this expectation that my wife just shared, that you want to be a kept woman? And if you're married and that is your expectation, did you communicate this to your spouse?
Husband.
Right?
And if you didn't, tag him in this video. No, I'm joking. We'll do it for you.
Oh my God. All right. My second one.
Okay, I'm bracing
My
myself.
second unspoken expectation
Unspoken.
is that
Time's up. No, I'm joking. Saved by the bell. But go ahead.
is that you would wash my clothes.
Are you serious?
That is,
But what can I say? In my defense, I did used to wash your
yeah,
clothes.
and to not your defense. We will talk in detail about this.
They're gonna be like, she don't cook, she don't wash. I do wash
babe,
now. though.
you are
But I do wash now.
I couldn't ask for a better wife.
But tell the people I do wash now. I do laundry now. Babe, I do I've been doing laundry for the last year. Don't even try it. Babe.
Yeah. Ouch! It's abuse on the camera. All right, listen. That.
Can you tell the people why I stopped washing your clothes?
Okay, this is why she stopped washing my clothes.
Okay.
Because she would wash my clothes. Lights, whites, and darks. All together.
And I wash mine the same way.
And so one day
I think
I had came back to the house, came downstairs, and you was actually folding up and
being
doing
a
my
nice
clothes
good
and laundry.
housewife, like folding up
This
stuff.
was in the beginning of
Yes.
us being together. I was like, whoa, it don't get no better than this.
I used to fold his clothes. Yeah.
So, and I used to play basketball like all the time.
All day, 3 days a week. That's another episode.
Oh,
I mean, 3 times a day. But go ahead.
and so I go in my whites
And they were just
to
a little
get
pink.
white socks.
They were just a little pink, y'all. He's extra.
and they would be pink and blue
It's fine.
because she washed everything
Ain't nothing
together.
wrong with a tie-dye sock.
So no one wants to show up to the gym or put shorts on with white socks that look dingy.
You like, they clean. They clean.
Because my wife in the beginning didn't use bleach.
Yeah, he
'cause-
thought I was dirty because bleach ain't good. I had a baby. Well, he was 1, and I cared about my baby's health. So you're right. I did not use bleach.
So they used this brand
All natural cleaning products
called
called Melaleuca. Melaleuca.
Stupa.
Don't do that. You don't get sued.
And no.
And he's right. It really didn't like make your whites as bright as
No.
bleach did. But to my defense, not that we have to defend myself, I did start, and I remember like you just didn't care the way I washed or whatever. And then I guess I could have adjusted, but I think one time you got frustrated and you were just like, don't wash my stuff no more. I'll just do it.
I remember the day I told you no, and I remember why.
Okay, what happened?
Because when you did use bleach, it got in on my color clothes.
I tried, y'all. I tried.
I was like,
And he's like, just that's it. And then I think you
so
started
what
doing
I
the
did
wash.
was I said I didn't think it was fair. I don't think it's fair for the husband to wash his own clothes and the wife. I don't believe in that. And so I believe in whoever's going to do the laundry. So my thing was I washed everybody's clothes.
Yeah, even
and
the kids.
I did that for years. But here lately, my
I've been
wife
doing it.
has been crushing.
Yeah, every time it's a little full, put it in there, separate them now. And I use bleach now. So she the bomb.
Yeah.
See, sometimes your unspoken expectations don't get met. But if you have a good wife, sent from God, and a good husband, then those expectations could potentially.
When you say good husband, you didn't say sent from God. Only
sent from God. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
sure.
Sent from God can get met, right? Like,
Yeah.
because a good marriage is a marriage that is not it's selfless in a sense where it's like it's not self-seeking. It's not all about like what I want. It's really serving your spouse,
Right.
And so, and that may mean learning new skills or perfecting new things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I am going to take cooking lessons, and because we also eat very uniquely. For the last 9 years, we stopped eating meat.
Right.
And so not being a creative cook, like after a while, it's just like fish and shrimp, and we do eat seafood. And so it was hard. So it's just hard. I feel like I have food anxiety because every time every time I think about what I'm going to cook, I just get like, and then there are things I like that you don't like. And it's like every time I make a suggestion, all right, I'm going to do this, you'd be like, no, everything is no. So I think I just checked out and was like, okay, well then I'll just let him kind of do his thing.
Well,
So that was like a confession, a really long one, but
okay.
I'm going to do better.
Where we at? What you got?
All right. So honestly, those were my two major
Okay.
unspoken expectations. I
Okay.
think the one like not being a kept wife and, there were times during the marriage, like me working, especially with the mortgage days where it felt like I was working all day.
Right.
It just was
And
like
you were making really good money.
I was making really good money,
Yes.
and I was just frustrated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I love family, to be honest. Like, I love my immediate family. He'll
Right.
tell you, like, I'd rather just be home with my girls and my son at the time. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to be home, and I just value watching your children grow.
Right.
And I remember that sometimes I would cry because they would like go to the park. He would send me pictures and stuff like that. But like I missed a lot of moments. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
And
yeah, work hours were crazy.
they were crazy. And there was a point where I just was like, you're happy that if somebody is spending time with the kids, you definitely wanted to be your husband or your wife. But there was a form of, it's not jealousy. It was just like, those moments, I want to be there for those moments.
I
And
get
you know what I mean? And I would get angry internally, like just feeling like just disgruntled.
Yeah.
Really, honestly.
I got another one.
Okay.
All right. So here is number 3 out of 10. It's like, no, I'm joking. So my unspoken expectation was that you would serve me more.
Like, what do you mean serve? I think you need to qualify that for the people.
So
Like, okay, like if you fix the food, like I should make the plates and then bring it to you.
yeah,
or
stuff
like-
stuff
or-
like that,
okay.
or like little things like that. Like, we've always had homes where we've had jacuzzi style tubs.
Yeah.
Maybe from
Like-
coming in from whatever, babe, I got some hot bath for you.
Yeah.
Little stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, no, seriously, I'll confess, like there was a point, a lot of chunks of our marriage where I'm just kind of selfish because
Why?
like I just felt like dag, I'm working so hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just worked long hours. Like, it just felt like I should be served.
But
like,
I'm coming.
did.
But I come home from working with I don't know how many hundreds kids in the school. With our kids, making sure they're good, making sure we got.
Listen, I'm not saying it was fair or balanced.
No, I hear what you're saying.
I'm just saying where there's a tainted
and I hear what you're not saying. Like,
I just honestly like it was wrong. It was definitely wrong because regardless, this word is going to kill me. It didn't matter if that was happening. Like if you love someone, you treat them right and you show them love. Yeah. But there was if most of my, not most, but if a lot of, there were seasons when I was working long hours and stuff, I was disgruntled, I'm missing out. I wasn't thinking about like, oh God, in my mind, I feel like you got it good. Cause you're home. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I know.
I'm home before you get home.
Yeah,
you're
home before me, but yeah. And so in my mind, I'm like, well, he don't deserve no bad. I don't know. I don't know if I ever consciously said that, but in my mind, I'm like, you're already being served. I don't know.
Are y'all hearing this?
I didn't say it was good.
My nickname for my baby is Reese. I call her Reese. That's my name. Y'all not like calling her.
Don't call
y'all
me
hear Reese right now?
I'm confessing what I'm telling you. Like I'm just telling you what I didn't say it was right.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's still acts of kindness and it's still, loving and serving. But if you're disgruntled, you don't have the mindset to serve. And that's where I was wrong at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And honestly, I had a distorted view. I was prideful a lot of our marriage in that the guy had to deal with me with a lot of pride because like, I felt like, and here it is. Here's the thing that we do sometimes. Like I had horrible relationships before my husband. 3 years of being in abuse. I was with my son's father. That was a joke. It was a setup, a whole bunch of lies. It's just a lot. And so you finally get married, and you're like, this guy's a good guy, and you're like, finally, it's time for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you listen. I'm going to confess this to the world. I'm going to confess this to the world. I've been married to you for almost 19 years. 18 years.
Yeah.
And I am telling you this because I mean it. You are the kind of person and wife that deserves everything that you expect. I mean that. Like there is. I know without a shadow of a doubt that you work hard. I have to make her buy stuff. She won't even buy her own stuff. Her own self, nothing. But whatever is in your heart's desire, whatever you feel like you need, you deserve it. How you feel, you should feel that way.
Really?
Yeah. That's how I mean, not just because you're my wife. I see how you treated me even when we first got married. Our love language was backwards. Like
yeah, that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, that's another. Oh yeah.
Yes, let's do it.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. But you deserve what's in your heart, what you desire, because it is not unrealistic.
Yeah.
And I am confessing.
Before the world,
before millions, in front of 3 Sony FX30 cameras, that I will meet those expectations.
I believe it, babe. I believe it.
I will meet those expectations.
I believe it.
I'm praying I meet those expectations.
And my husband, in the areas that maybe desires that I do have, I definitely feel like you make it up. Like one of the things I have learned from my husband, to be honest, is serving. Like I don't think there's no man on earth that loves and serves their wife better than you serve me. I mean,
I appreciate that.
I'm serious. Like sometimes it's like
I know
overwhelming.
I know why you're saying that too.
Why? Come and you serve me tonight. What?
Pause.
Pause. Go take me to dinner or
Pause.
something. No, I'm saying that because it's true. It's really true. Like, I'm not just putting on face for the camera.
I know you're not.
All day, he's like, what do you need? I'll wake up. You know, I was in a season of, I used to drink coffee all the time. I would wake up, my coffee was on my dresser. You're always very, you're out, you're called, you know, is there anything that you need? And I think that's your heart. You just
18 years.
Yeah, he's been consistent, so it's not even like.
Because I signed up for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm signed up for it. Know what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
Understand when you're going into a marriage your hearts should always be positioned to serve one another, not to be served first.
Yeah, and that's why I said a lot of my perspective was selfish. Like, and I don't know if I sat down and was like, I'm going to be served. I feel like, I feel like it was subconscious. Like, I feel like there was a sense of entitlement because of what I've been through, but you shouldn't have to bear the brunt or pay, you know, go overboard because I dated jerks, you know, in the past, you know what I'm saying? So I think that it's important that you don't put on your spouse expectations that are unfair. Because there's a thing of unspoken expectations, but then there's this also thing of unfair expectations that, if you know, even God himself is like, that's a little much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Unfair expectations, no matter where they're coming from, need to be analyzed and talked about. And you may need to look your wife or your husband in the face and say, boo,
that is unfair.
We are never going to meet that expectation.
Yeah. No, seriously.
Like, I cannot meet that expectation.
I think that is a episode by itself. Unfair expectations.
Okay.
Now, this is where we can get, do not let your kids watch that one.
Maybe we need to do like a disclaimer, like rated R. I think we need to code because we want to talk about some real stuff, and because people are dealing with this. I remember us counseling a couple on some of his unfair expectations, and I was like, I said, keep your game face on, I'm looking like. Yeah, that's crazy. No. You need to go. Some of the unfair expectations are coming from therapy and people trying to put, like, you trying to make your spouse God. Like, that's another episode. Yeah. Your spouse cannot fulfill the God-sized hole in your heart. Only God can do that.
Yeah.
And if we're looking for our spouses to fully complete us and, you know, make us feel like what mommy and daddy didn't, then you're going to have unmet expectations, and that's unfair. You need to get your healing.
Yeah, and some of the unfair expectations are coming from brokenness.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, like literally, like. And
you have too much, like.
There are some unfair expectations that no one should feel. Because you need deliverance.
Well, you need deliverance, and then now you're condemning yourself because your spouse is never happy, and doesn't matter what you do, he's still not satisfied or she's still not satisfied. And we've had those conversations over the years. I mean, even with us breaking, like the last episode, perversion in our marriage. Yeah. You know, there are times where it still felt like, okay, is perversion present because
real talk.
Some of what you're asking me for is a little much.
Real talk.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we have to ask ourselves that, like, is this being fueled by a broken spirit?
Right. That's real talk.
Or is this really a need that I have? And if it is, then let's talk through that.
Yeah.
But some good stuff.
Unspoken expectations. Hopefully you are filling up the comment boxes.
Yeah.
Right.
What unspoken expectations have you guys had in your marriage?
Come on. And be honest, be honest.
Now, there's some expectations that should be unspoken. Like, I shouldn't have to communicate to you that you shouldn't be cheating on me.
Right.
So if some of y'all put that in the box, we need to have another conversation.
And that's a real thing, though.
I mean, it's a shame, but I guess nowadays you got to be like, listen, I am a monogamous. I need to look up that word and make sure I said it right. But basically, like, I believe that a man belongs with a woman and a woman belongs with a man. Mm-hmm. I do not have any theology or ideology that says that it's okay for you to bring another woman into this relationship ever. Point blank, period. Right?
Real talk.
And he might be like, oh, well, my culture and background is that men have multiple partners. I don't know. So maybe you do need to have those real conversations, because even in Christendom, there is a lot of off theologies that and ways of living that believers are saying that is acceptable, and it ain't.
No.
And it ain't.
Your truth and God's truth is different.
Right. Just
Not the
because
same
it's your
thing.
truth don't mean that it's holy truth.
Everybody said I'm speaking my truth. There's only one.
Yeah.
Right, there's only one. Anyway, so
Little-
I'm AD.
And I'm Sharee, and thank you guys for tuning in.
We're
to
on a
In
mission.
Between the
Controversial
Lines.
discussion.
Till next time.
Family
Peace.
edition.
Hey, make sure you like and subscribe.
And hit that bell icon for more updates.